Gentlemen, here we are with another week, another cocktail. I hope this will be enjoyable for everyone. We're sticking with gin this week. My understanding was that the drink last week was enjoyable by everyone. Everyone had a good time with it, but maybe hit harder than people expected, which will happen with just about any martini you drink. But this week it should be a little milder, if not still quite delicious. Indeed, it is one of the most famous drinks in the world. So the drink we're making this week is a Negroni. No doubt lots of you have had one before, maybe even ordered one at a bar, read about them, seen them on TV shows. They're just, it's a very delicious drink. So it's famous for good reason. So I'm excited to make one because I like them and they're good. So we can get started with that while I answer some questions. Before I get started with the questions, actually, I'm just going to point out, so I think last year for the Amaro, I recommended either Campari or Cynar because I like Cynar more personally. I don't like keep Campari in my bar just because I don't really like it that much, and there's a lot of other Amaros that are good substitutes. I will say that if you went to a bar and asked for a Negroni with something other than Campari, the bartender would probably be like, "Well, that's not a Negroni," because it's an important part of it, the Campari. I'm not that stuck up about it. Like, there's better Amaros, I think, than Campari, and I prefer them. So, but if you have Campari, that's great. You got yourself a tried and true, honest Negroni. If you have the Cynar, like I recommended, or even a different one like a Verna Amaro or Braulio, Amaro Lucaro. I'm going to be using Amaro Nannino, just because that's one I really like. It's all generally the same drink. All right, well, we'll get started mixing it up. This is another thing I love about this cocktail is it's a equal parter. It's just 1 ounce of each ingredient. It's so easy. You can drink 3 of these, 4 of these, and keep making them because it's pretty hard not to remember 1, 1, and 1. We got some honest questions this week. So Brian wants to know, 2 weeks in, what's my honest assessment of the Man Jack? I'm assuming he's being serious since asking me to assess my team and not the player himself or otherwise. I have fallen prey once again, and I've done this a lot because I am stuck in like fantasy football 10 years ago or something, but I do not value wide receivers enough, and so I never draft any good ones early, and I end up with a team that has like some good running backs and okay quarterback. The defense is usually pretty good every season, but my receivers just suck. I just always have bad receivers. But that would be my best assessment. Is I think there's a lot of really good players on my team, a lot of really good pieces, but if my receivers keep dogging me, well, I don't know how far Man Jack will go if that's the case. So, all right, as you see, 3 total ounces, 1 of each. You got your gin, your Amaro, and your sweet vermouth. I'm gonna go fill this up with ice and stir it. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Got my ice in my glass, ice in our mixer, or mixing glass, another glass, multiple glasses. Casey, not a frequent question or commenter, but he had a fun anecdote and comment. He wanted to say that the cocktail last week was great. I keep saying enjoyable because I like those $10 words. He said it was a great cocktail, and that right as Peter was finishing pouring the first round, Iowa State finally scored. And then the next round he poured, they scored again. And then when Conradi, however you pronounce his dumb name, hit that 54-yarder to beat the Hawks, they enjoyed another one. And so he wanted to say, do we owe the Cyclones victory to that drink? Yes, we do. that is heartwarming, although as a Hawks fan, I prefer it went a different way. But a good cocktail, man, it's just magic. That's all I can say about that. Actual magic. All right, pour this over an ice cube or multiple ice cubes if you don't have big ones. And then instructions will say to garnish with an orange peel. And I'm not usually one to stray from peels just because I don't really need extra like juice and stuff. But for some reason, I don't know when, maybe I saw in a movie somebody was drinking a Negroni and they had an actual orange slice in it instead of a peel. But it seemed really yummy. And so I tried it once, and I don't know. I've gotten into the habit now of just doing an actual slice, orange slice. But you do you, you know? Play with it however you want to. I got one more question. Nick wants to know, and I love this question, is who on my Liquored Up roster will have the best pro football career and why? And that's an interesting one. Now I wonder, I probably can't say like one, you know, the best defensive player on Michigan because I have Michigan's defense, but you know, that's not really, I don't think that's quite what he's asking. You know, I might go with my tight end from Bowling Green just because, is that Bowling Green? Yeah. I mean, a good tight end, like, I don't know, how often are there like good tight ends in college? It seems like maybe one or two every season. You're like, hey, oh, wow. And they usually end up getting drafted in the first 4 rounds, and making an impact on a roster somewhere. So I would say, seeing as how it seems like he might be one of the better tight ends in the league this year, it seems like there's a good chance that that'll lead to success in the NFL. Otherwise, on my team, my receivers are garbage, like I said. I mean, they're not, I shouldn't be so mean to them. They're not the worst, but they're not great. But, and then running backs, like, who can predict, other than like Saquon, who can predict a running back being successful in the NFL? It's a crapshoot. So I'm going to go with Harold Fannin, tight end from Bowling Green. So that's the end of those questions. I did want to say real quickly, just it popped in my head making this drink and enjoying this drink that kind of the backbone of every cocktail, the original cocktail, the old fashioned, which was so original that it doesn't even have technically a name, it's just the whiskey the old fashioned way, is spirit with something bitter or sour and something sweet, and then trying to find the right ratio to balance everything out. That's what an old fashioned is, with whiskey, bitters, and simple syrup or sugar cube. And this is also the same thing. You got the bitter Amaro, the sweet vermouth, and the spirit. I don't know. I find that kind of interesting when you think of the whole kind of ratio backbone of any cocktail. It kind of opens things up and makes you can start thinking about making your own, get a little creative. I don't know. It's fun. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoys their Negroni this week. I hope I am successful. I might just keep using gin every week until I lose a game. Maybe I should wait until I have more than one victory in a row before I say something that drastic. But cheers, gentlemen, to another great week. I look forward to watching some football.